Hello and welcome to another episode of Hessy and Maven. I'm Justin.
I'm Raven.
And on this week's episode, we've decided to talk a little bit about something called a board game.
Yeah, we're board game people.
We're board game people. We're a board game family.
Yeah.
Although some of our family top faves aren't necessarily board games.
Yeah, they're more card games. We're
More
also a card game family.
Do you know what we're not, though? We're not like a normal card game family in the sense of, I don't know why I use the word normal, like poker or like
we're
gin
not a
rummy
poker family. Yeah.
or like the Old Maid, whatever that one is.
I think I maybe played Old Maid like with Tony and Leanna once, but...
You know, I used to go to Aunt Lori's all the time when I like lived across the street and stuff, and they're big card people.
Yeah.
Used to play poker sometimes, and I would drink too much, which was embarrassing because I was the youngest person there. That could drink, I mean.
Yeah.
Not literally the youngest person there. There's, whatever, my cousins. Hey, Joey, shout out. What up, homie, if you're listening. He'll appreciate that. If you know Joey.
Yeah.
He's going to appreciate that. But yeah, we're, talk about some board games and stuff. But
I did win an Uno competition in 6th grade. They held an Uno
that's incredible.
competition in the lunchroom.
Oh, good for you.
And I did get first place. And for a long time, the article about it was on our fridge at Daddy's house.
Oh, as it should be.
Yeah, because
I wish we still had that.
I was the Uno champion.
I wish we had that still.
Yeah.
It's probably ruined in the basement or something.
Yeah.
Fucking horse face.
Sad.
But yeah. Real quick, if I may. So we've been pumping out a ton of content over on the YouTube, over on the TikTok, at Hessy and Maven, one word. Definitely go check that stuff out. Also on Instagram, because everything I post on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and stuff like that, like I just also post on Instagram most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to say we hit a huge milestone in our growth. Not only did we get on YouTube, which it sounds like small numbers to some people maybe, right?
Yeah.
You see like Mr. Beast or whoever, and they're like millions and millions of subscribers, right? We got 30 plus subscribers in like 1 week.
That's good for us.
That's really good for us.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes from YouTube Shorts, which is just YouTube's sort of
TikTok.
their version
YouTube's
of TikTok
TikTok,
essentially, yeah. But we hit a big milestone. We got our first troll.
Oh, great.
We got our first troll. Somebody wasn't a fan of our profile picture, which is really just our logo over the pride flag.
Oh, yeah.
God forbid.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing for them.
Yeah,
is what I meant.
100%.
Yeah?
It was very silly. It was just like, okay, bud.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. And the first person out of my friend group that I recommended listen to the podcast actually did, which was a pharmacist that I work with.
Incredible.
Which was very exciting.
That
out
is
of nowhere,
exciting.
he was just like, I listened to your podcast.
Hey,
and
shout
I
out.
almost fell on the floor. Matt.
Shout out Matt Helmy.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope he hears this.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There was that. I thought that was really funny. But we have a lot of content going out on these different platforms. The day that we're recording this, Monday, July 3rd, so it would be yesterday from the day that this comes out, we posted our first episode of Hessy and Maven Gaming. Woo! Hessy and Maven Gaming, which is really Justin playing video games and telling stories.
Yes.
And this week, I played some Fortnite, and I told the story of Paul and Rachel Chandler, who were hijacked at sea by Somali pirates and held captive for over a year.
Scary.
And I had to record the hour-long telling of me doing that story twice. Actually 2.5 times, because the first time I did it, I wasn't recording my phone, so I didn't get any video, and it was like, sick, I gotta do this again.
Yeah.
And then the audio wasn't good. Sick, I gotta do this again. So by the end, I was like, I know this story.
Yeah.
The only thing I was really looking at my notes for was like, I would lose track. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that big of a surprise. It's hard to play a video game and tell a story.
Yeah.
So hopefully I get better at it. But, yeah, go check it out if you're interested in video games, if you're interested in, it sounds really conceited, but if you're interested in me and you want to see more me content.
Or true crime.
Yeah. Right. The next episode will be about a prolific con man who ravaged England. And then I have some other really exciting stories down the line and stuff like that.
I think old people try to con me on the regular.
They are con people.
Yeah.
When you're that old and you bought your house for $30,000 and you have the audacity to think that I can't afford a house because of avocados or something.
Yeah.
No. Shut up.
Well, listen to this. Listen to this. The other day, this lady calls and she's like, "Hi, I need this medicine. I ran out, but my insurance is saying it's too soon to fill." And I'm like looking at it and I'm like, yeah, the last time you picked it up, we gave you a 3-month supply. So you should be good until the first week of August. Mm. And she's like, well, I'm not. And I'm like, okay, do you have the 6 bottles of this medication that you picked up the last time you were here? Yeah. Okay. Well, the instructions say to take 2 a day. Are you taking more than that? No. I take 2 a day. So you got the total 180 pills. Yes. And you take 2 a day. Yes. That's supposed to last you 3 months. Well, it didn't.
The math ain't mathin'.
And I'm like, is it possible you lost a bottle? No.
Oh my God.
Okay. So what? I don't understand what's happening. And she just kept going, honey, I'm telling you, someone made a boo-boo. Someone made a boo-boo. And it needs to be fixed.
What kind of explanation is that?
And I was like,
someone made a boo-boo?
Ma'am, what you're saying doesn't make any sense. You have all the medicine. You're taking it correctly. It lasts for 3 months.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, it didn't. That's all I got. Well, it didn't.
Okay.
I'm out.
Wow.
I want more medicine now. Like, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The economy left and right.
Of course.
Nonsense.
Absolute nonsense.
Anyway, I do have a...
That's rough out there.
I do have a question.
Oh, we got a question?
Yeah, a Reddit question.
A little bit of advice from Reddit.
Yeah.
Send it on down.
I'll be interested in what you advise this person to do.
Bring it on. Come on.
Okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. So, Kerblub asks...
Okay.
My parents want me to feed our cat while they are away on a trip. I have a genuine phobia of cat food. What do I do?
Who wants you to do this?
Their parents.
Their parents want them to feed the cat.
Yeah.
But they have a genuine
their phobia
words.
of cat food. Their words. What do I do?
Wow. I mean, I hate to give this type of advice because this makes me think of something that Dad does. Let me tell you what you should have done. First, I'm going to tell you what you should have done if we could just go back in time together and just ride that DeLorean to 88 miles per hour. And what you should have done is had that conversation with your parents before you fucking did this. What are you thinking? Don't do that. Like, don't.
This makes me feel like their parents were like in the doorway holding their suitcase, like with the doors like this much and their faces in the doorway, and they're going, by the way, feed the cat, love you.
Yeah. That better be it. That better be it. I need to know more information. But yeah, I feel like this conversation should have come up. But since it didn't, let's act in the here and now.
Yeah.
Listen, Kerbluff. I think... First of all, thanks for sending in the question to Reddit. And thank you, Raven, for finding it. And I think that... Oh, man. I mean, that cat's got to eat at the end of the day. So we have to figure out how do we get that done. Right? And if you can't do it because you were scared of cat food... My question is, how long are they gone, does it say?
No.
You did not give enough information. You want advice? You don't deserve advice. Put more information. But
you could surmise probably like a week.
Let's say a week. Okay. If you're scared of dry cat food, now we have a problem. Yeah. If you're scared of wet cat food, not only do I freaking understand a little bit, phobia is strong, but yeah. I kind of get it. because I have to do that for my cat twice a day. And like the times I'm trying to like when I pull the thing back, sometimes it like it snags on it like doesn't fully come up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then juice just goes.
It's disgusting.
I want to die.
I would have to open wet cat food with like those industrial rubber gloves you wash dishes with and like a face mask because I can't get any of that on me.
Because it really can be brutal.
So gross.
And then you're shaking it upside down, like trying to get the thing out, and it just like sometimes you get juice on your finger, and it's just the freaking worst.
Nightmare.
Oh my gosh! But so I get that. So
yeah.
I mean, I would say try and find some sort of version that is the most risk averse for you.
Yeah.
I suppose for a week, I'm not an expert, so we're joking around when we say advice sometimes. I'm not, dude, talk to a expert, but like, I would think that a cat could survive on just dry food and water. Yeah. Or like, you could put some chicken broth in there so that the cat has some like sort of fluids.
Get that thing where like it's the down thing, so the food just keeps coming out.
Well, yeah, some cats you have to be careful though, because they'll. Most cats are grazers and they just kind of eat when they're hungry. Yeah, but sometimes they will overeat.
Well, if you have a phobia and your parents left you, unless you're gonna recruit a neighbor, or a friend,
that's another option. Yeah, that's definitely another option is to recruit a neighbor.
Yeah, recruit somebody
who is fine with cat food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the future, have that conversation.
Yeah. You definitely have to talk about it.
You have to set some expectations. I think that's really important. I've always, in the corporate world, when I was part of that, they would always say, under promise and over deliver. Yeah. So if you just straight up were like, I'm going to feed the hell out of this cat, mom and dad. It's going to be so fat by the time you get home. I'm going to feed it so good. And then they leave and you're like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, you can't. I'll write to Reddit. Yeah. They'll know. And like, so you made a boo-boo as Ethel would say at Raven's Pharmacy. Yep. You made a boo-boo. Mm-hmm. And I think you really just got to deal with it. Although, it honestly, it also depends on like how serious you are about the word phobia.
I know. Because a lot of people throw that word around.
They throw that word around like OCD.
Do you know what this question reminded me of? It's not relevant, but it did remind me of it. I was listening very recently to a podcast about the son of Sam. And that in the beginning of his crimes, he told people that he did crime because
Talk to a dog.
His neighbor's dog, Harvey, told him to do it.
Is that it? That's the connection? That's really it?
Maybe there's something going on.
This guy has a phobia of feeding cats, and you were like, remember Son of Sam and Harvey?
That's what it made me think of.
Yeah. Somebody's consuming a little bit too much true crime over there.
I am consuming a lot right now, but I'm enjoying it.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah. If there's anyone in our house who would tell one of us to commit crimes, we know who it would be.
Jessica.
Look at the face she's giving us.
The face she's making right now is very
She's giving us bombastic side-eye.
Bombastic side-eye.
Yeah.
Wow, that was funny. Good question.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Great question.
Well. Oh, you went to a wedding this weekend.
I did.
Did you have fun?
My first wedding as an adult.
That blows my mind.
It was very fun. It was hot and outside and muggy.
Oof.
And the air quality in the Poconos is not good because of the smoke from Canada.
Jeez Louise, were people wearing masks and shit?
No.
God. I mean, they say that you need like a legit N95 mask.
Yeah.
Because like the cloth masks are meant to stop droplets, not smoke particles.
Yeah.
Which are much smaller.
And And the wedding was sweet. I did cry twice.
I always cry.
Yeah, because they showed
Always cry at a wedding.
They showed like an emotional video of like them talking about like when they met and how they like are the one for the other one. And it was just very emotional, and I could see the bride crying, and then I just was crying.
That's what usually gets me. Like, if God forbid, like one of the dads cries.
Oh, if a man cries, that's it for me.
Fucking waterworks.
Yeah.
Yeah. At Nick's wedding, I cried if a person spoke. At one point, the DJ was like, "Oh, thanks everybody for bawling."
Yeah.
Everybody who talked, I was crying. It was
I know.
terrible. And I was beautiful, but you know.
It was emotional.
There was a lot of tears.
There was a ziplining course right next to the ceremony, which was just wild because people were screaming and jumping down the zip line while the vows were being said. So I thought that was crazy.
That is insane. The idea of somebody doing their vows and just being like, Jeremy.
Yeah.
When I met you in elementary school, I knew I'm going to marry this man.
Yeah. And like, it was one of those experiences where like I was the only one who was noticing is what it felt like.
Oh, that
and I was
makes
looking
you feel crazy.
I was looking around and no one was like looking like confused about the ziplining screams, and I was
you're like being gaslit by silence. And you're like, am I crazy?
I'm the only
you're like
one
looking
hearing
around and you just in the background, and you're like, there it was.
It was wild. No, but I had a good time. And then we went to a town in Pennsylvania the next day called Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, which was like on the side of a mountain, and it was a very tiny roads mountain downtown thing, like cutesy little thing where you walk and there's a lot of shops.
Yeah.
And we went to a coffee shop called the Muggles Mug, and I got a frozen butter brew coffee.
Very cool.
Josh got a coffee called the Deadly Nightshade.
Ooh, the Deadly Nightshade.
Yeah, it was like blueberry, white chocolate, something or other. But it was cute. They had couches inside, and like it was all Harry Potter decorated, and there was like flickering lamps, and it was very cute.
It's hard not to get wrapped up in Harry Potter shit.
Yeah, we
really did grow up with it. It's so fucking hard. I just hate J.K. Rowling so much.
I know. But it was
like, what a bitch
awesome.
to be like, hey kids, here's this fucking awesome wizard and magic. By the way, I hate a certain group of people, and I think that they should deserve less rights. And you're like, what? Why'd you give me the cool thing?
I know.
Although,
it's hard.
I will say this. The idea that wizards use owls to send mail is fucked up. It's so crazy.
Oh.
Or the fact that the Weasley family is like poor. You guys have magic. I don't get it.
I know.
Sorry. I don't understand.
It's just
like, it's
something
weird.
you have
They're
to
keeping
overlook.
Them down. Yeah. But
would you pick owl as your pet to bring with you?
Or
would you pick cat or
Jessica
toad?
just made eye contact with me, dude. I mean, I was seeing if she was looking at me. Realistically, I would pick probably a cat because he would be with me more often. The owls, they're not like I have to walk how far to a creepy tower covered in owl shit.
Well, Harry's owl, while she was
owl?
alive, lived in his room with him.
When he was at the Dursleys, and it lived in a cage.
No, I thought like next to his bed, like in the Gryffindor common room or in the Gryffindor bedroom.
Oh,
there was
maybe.
Like a cage for
I just remember.
Hedwig.
Wasn't there times where he went to like a weird place to
send mail? The owlery. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're a bigger fan, you can tell us.
Yeah, let us know in the comments, I guess.
But anyway, the coffee place was cool and the little town was cool. And I got kettle corn and a little statue of Bigfoot. And
very good.
Yeah, and I was really tired when I came home.
Nice. Yeah, you were tired. You seemed fucking wiped.
Yeah, and I came home and was bombarded with 1,000 questions, and
Because your dog gets ticks.
I know.
That's it.
And I then wanted to go
I
to
pulled
sleep.
one off her this morning. It was on her fucking face. And it was crazy, too, because it was, like, grayish. So it almost, like, blended in. Like, I thought it was, like, a growth.
Sad.
And I was, like, I was sad, but also upset that I had to deal with it. Because I was like, it's so gross.
On Wednesday, I'm going to go pick up her tick medicine from the vet.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Anyway, let's get into some board games.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some board games.
I'll be very surprised if we don't have overlap.
So will I. This actually was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Only because, like, it wasn't hard to pick 5 board games that I like.
Yeah.
It was hard to be like, I don't want to pick everything that I think Raven's going to pick. Because we often will play board games together.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's like you, me, and Tony and Mom or something, like some kind of variation of something.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then like some games I have like such a fond memory of, but I was like, I don't want to put this on my list only because like I don't play this game anymore. I love Candyland.
I
Didn't make my list.
love Candyland.
But yeah.
The art was just...
I loved all the different characters and
Yeah.
everything like that. It was very simple.
Wasn't there like a gumdrop person? I always wanted to be her.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a gumdrop. There was some molasses.
There was like an ice princess or an ice...
something. There, I can't...
something.
Yeah. There, peppermint boy.
Yep.
A licorice evil
Lad?
man or something. I think he was evil, the licorice.
Oh.
Because licorice is gross.
Licorice is gross.
I can fuck with a red Twizzler every so often, but for the most part, it's a no-go for me.
An old man came in to the pharmacy recently and asked me where to find liquor ice. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying.
Wow.
Can you spell it for me? And he
That's
spelled it, and I
insane.
said, licorice? And he said, I don't know. It looked like liquor ice. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
My number 5 is... I forgot to number them. I'm just looking at a list of 5 different board games going, which one do I like the least? Out of this list, my number 5 is Scattergories.
Okay.
I enjoy Scattergories.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun. I like games that make you be creative and also are like thinking games kind of thing, as opposed to like, you know, like a board game where like Candyland where you're not thinking at all. You turn a card over and it's like, go to the purple square. And you go to the purple square. You know, not that I sometimes I like those games, but I usually prefer thinking games or something like that. So
Right.
I love Scattergories. A lot of fun. It was published by Parker Brothers in 1988. They were purchased by Hasbro a few years later. We love capitalism, I guess.
We love capitalism.
What's that TikTok sound? The one about capitalism? With like Marge Simpson or something?
This is a real find.
Oh, God. Wow, never do that voice again.
Like, you don't have to justify everything. Just buy it.
Yeah.
Capitalism. All right, I will buy it.
Yeah.
It'll be good for the economy.
Wow. Wow, I didn't know you could do any impressions, let alone a Marge Simpson impression. I think I was thinking of the one that was like, capitalism's really popping off today, baby.
Oh, that's not Mark Simpson.
I know it's not, but I thought of it halfway through. For some reason, your Marge Simpson impression jogged it from my memory. But anyway. Hold on. So I like it. It's fun. It's all the different letters. It makes me think of a lot of creativity. You're under the clock. It's got a good hourglass.
It's interesting. I like it. It's interesting to see what other people think of for their. So the plot. What you do for the game is like, you roll to get a letter or something, and then you all have papers that have like categories like food, state capital, whatever, and then everyone has to write something, the first thing that they think of that goes with that letter.
Exactly.
So it's interesting to see what other people think of.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because, like, and they throw in there also the little bylaw that, like, if you and I come up with the same answer, neither of us get a point.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, the category is vegetables, and the letter is C. Mm-hmm. Think of one. Don't say it out loud yet.
Okay.
You got one?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to say it on 3.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Carrot.
Cauliflower.
We done good.
Thank you so much. I'm reading from a list of vegetables that start with C. Collard greens. Citrus wouldn't count because that's a fruit.
Yeah.
I just tricked you. Okay. So, yeah, all different kinds of cool stuff. I think
it's a
that's
great
a lot
game.
of fun.
1988, you said?
Yeah, 1988.
Nice.
And it uses a dodecahedron, which is awesome. 20-sided dice.
Wow.
Yeah, some letters I guess they just don't include. There's 6 letters
X
that they're
is
just
stupid.
X is stupid. Z they probably don't have. Y. Do you think they have a Y?
Probably not. They probably don't have Q either.
No, they probably don't have a Q.
Yeah.
Huh. We've always played games like that. I think that's why I like that game. We've always played. We call it the alphabet game.
Yeah,
that we always play. Car rides or waiting in line at for like an amusement park.
Yep.
Play the ABC game. Everyone has to go through all the alphabet, and there's a specific category. So it could be animals, it could be food, it could be movie titles or whatever. Remember the time we
Mom
played in
was
the
cheating
car
the whole time?
and Mom was cheating?
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
I know.
All
she
of us
literally was
were
coming
like-
up with so many answers, and I was like, wow, I can't believe your movie knowledge is so vast.
Yeah. That's what it was. It was movie titles, and she was just cheating the whole time on IMDb looking up movies. It was insane. She's naming like foreign films, and you're like, what? She's like, chocolat. For C, chocolat. And you're like, what? You cheater. Could not believe
She's
that
so
she
funny.
was cheating.
It's hilarious.
Insane. But yeah, my number 5 is categories.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
My number 5 is Taboo.
Very interesting.
It's a game also published by the Parker Brothers in 1989, purchased by Hasbro. The objective of the game is for a player to have their partners guess the word on the player's card without using the word itself or the 5 additional words listed on the card. Which I think is very fun. This is like another game.
That is a good game.
Where you have to kind of like think, like, let me see. This gives like example. So for example, the giver might have to get their team to guess the word baseball, but you can't say the words sport, game, pastime, hitter, pitcher, or baseball as clues.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much easier when you do it and you actually can see the words you're not supposed to say in front of you. Because
Yeah.
already I'm like, can I say game?
So, like, if I was to get you to say it, I would have to say, like, it's a thing where...
A pastime.
An activity. You can't say pastime. It's
Fuck!
It's an activity where people gather together, and there's 2 teams, and there's a bat, and then you would have to...
As soon as you say bat, I'm going to be like baseball.
Yeah. They don't get
Wow.
rid of the word bat. So...
I didn't hear you say pastime. I was just going to be like, oh, America's favorite pastime.
Yeah. Another one is if the
Cracker
word
Jacks.
was wedding and you couldn't say
Zip line.
I know. You couldn't say marriage, bride, groom, nuptials, or honeymoon. And then it also says the words marry and bridal would not be allowed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are fun, though.
A thing where 2 people come together as one is what I would say for that. But yeah, I think that game is really fun.
Did you look up this on Wikipedia?
Yes.
Taboo?
Yeah.
Did you scroll to the bottom and look at variations? And look at 1990 through 1996?
With Pink Hooter?
With Pink Hooter?
I don't know what that is.
What is that?
There's also Taboo Jewish Edition.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
And Taboo Singaporean version.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Jen, and we're the hosts of Bandcamp, a comedy podcast where we read banned books and try to figure out why they were banned in the first place.
This season, we're reading Fahrenheit 451, one chapter at a time out loud so you don't have to.
If you enjoy funny, smart talk,
Or kind of smart talk anyway, about banned books and the stupid reason some people want to ban them,
as well as listening to us read a classic book,
search for Bandcamp on your favorite podcast player, and that's band with 2 N's.
I don't know any Singaporean, so.
I don't know what pink hooter is.
Neither do I. And for the record, because it might sound differently than it's spelled, pink, like the color, hooter, like the fucking wing place.
Yeah, Hooters.
Pink
hooter.
hooter. I don't know,
There's Bible
what
taboo.
version
That's
that is.
interesting.
Oh, thanks.
Wow, crazy. That's funny. But yeah. Taboo. That's my number 5. I love that game.
That's a good one. That one is a lot of fun. It has like a beeper. It has the. I love an hourglass.
Love an hourglass.
Love an hourglass. I want like a nice one. I also have always been a big fan of globes. I want to get a globe.
I'll look
Even
next
a-
time I'm at a thrift store.
Even a little tiny guy, maybe. Yeah, because I don't have a ton of space anymore.
I almost bought you a duck
Very
magnet
maximalist.
this weekend.
Oh,
but-
would have loved to put it on the fridge.
Yeah, but I thought that you wouldn't like it as much because it wouldn't be in here with the other ducks.
It is true. I do like to keep them together.
Yeah.
If you're watching the YouTube, you can see my collection of birds, most of which are ducks. I love them.
All right, what's your number 4?
Okay. My number 4 is Taboo.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's a great game.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
It's a great game. The word guessing and party game.
It's a great party game.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's very similar to Catchphrase, which is also another Hasbro thing. Catchphrase is like one that,
Yeah.
Catchphrase doesn't give you as many words that you're not allowed to say, except for obviously the word.
Yeah.
So Catchphrase is actually like really easy for me. Again, this is going to sound like really cockiness. I'm really good at word games like this. Like, I'm just good at guessing and I'm good at giving clues. But I also get frustrated when people are like not good at it and I'm stuck with them as partners and people are just like saying the same clue over and over again. Like when you see somebody playing Pictionary and they're just drawing the same thing over again or like pointing at it.
Yeah.
And you're like, a dog, I don't know. And they're like, it's Mona Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to add more clues.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
But yeah, I do love Taboo.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game.
It's just a lot of fun. They have taboo body language.
Oh. Is that like charades?
I don't know.
I do not like charades.
You do not like charades?
I'm not good at it.
I'm decent at charades.
I'm good at words.
Yeah, better at words.
Yeah.
I'm okay with charades, but like I also don't often. It would have to be such a specific group of people that I would feel comfortable around.
You have to be free to be goofy when you're playing charades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a license to be goosey. Fuck. Yeah, you gotta be goosey.
Yeah.
Loosey-goosey, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Saved
Saved
it.
yourself there.
Saved it.
Okay.
Alright, what's your number 4?
Clue.
Damn. Cool. Clue is good.
Love Clue. Also didn't know until I looked at this Wikipedia article that Clue is what it's known as in North America, and in the UK, in Britain, it's known as Cluedo.
Cluedo.
Cluedo?
I watch a lot of British television, like Taskmaster
What
and
the hell is
stuff. They talk
Cluedo?
about it. Cluedo. Oh, what does Clue do? You made it sound. Oh, what does Cluedo mean?
Do the clues.
Okay.
It makes more sense.
Hey, whatever you say. Do the clues. If Blue does the clues, then you can too.
It's a murder mystery game for 3 to 6 players, depending on the edition. It was made in 1943. The game was first manufactured by Waddingtons in the United Kingdom. Since then, it has been relaunched and updated several times, and is currently owned by Hasbro.
Wow.
But I love it because I love a murder mystery. I love anything spoopy. I love trying to figure out who did it.
Oh, you don't like my game downstairs about spoopy? Mysterium? The one where you do seances?
I feel like at the time, is that the one you had me play?
Yes.
Okay, I felt a little bit like I had no choice but to play, and I think that's why I was resistant to play.
How else am I going to get you to play new games when you're such a fart in the pants? You're locked in with your fucking preferences.
I know.
And your resistance change. So when I get a brand new board game and I'm like, yo, I've played this game a couple times, it's sick. And you're like, I don't want it.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's so fun.
Okay, so this is a list of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it just says characters in this Wikipedia article. The murder victim in the game was known as
Mr. Body?
Dr. Black in the UK edition and Mr. Body in the North American versions. The current UK and North American editions of the game, released by Hasbro in 2023, refer to him as Bowden Body Black Jr.
That's too much. It's a little much.
Players' tokens are typically plastic pawns or figurines. The standard edition of Cluedo has 6 suspects.
Okay.
Miss Scarlet.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, the second T in Scarlet was dropped in the North American versions after 1963 and added back in 2016.
Oh, interesting. I didn't notice that it was returned. Can I guess some of the other characters? I think I know most of them.
Please.
There's Mrs. Peacock.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Plum. Colonel Mustard. Miss White.
Yeah, that's it. Do you want to know what they're called in the UK?
Yes.
Because it's different.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Mr. Green is Reverend Green.
Oh.
But in 2023, he became Mayor Green.
Ah, yeah.
Colonel Mustard is the same. Professor Plum is the same. Mrs. Peacock is known as Solicitor Peacock.
Oh, a lawyer.
In
That's what that is, I think.
2023 UK editions.
Interesting.
And Mrs. White is Chef White.
Oh.
In the 2023 UK.
Interesting.
I will say that... No, I was going to say it looks like they're changing them to gender neutral things where they could be either any gender.
Right.
But they're still Miss Scarlet. And can women be colonels?
Yeah.
Or other genders be colonels?
Yeah,
okay,
it's just a position. It's like saying sergeant.
Okay. So then Miss Scarlet is the only odd one out there.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay. It's nice to have a femme fatale kind of figure every once in a while. Man, have you seen the movie?
Yes.
The Clue movie?
Yes, the older, it's like older.
Dad and I
saw
love
with
it,
Daddy,
yeah. So good. Especially that it has multiple endings.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't want to give it away, gang, but it is an old movie with Tim Curry. He plays the butler.
Love Tim Curry.
Man, is it good.
This is wild.
Fun. Yeah.
So for Mrs. White, or Chef White, she was represented by a white token or figurine.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, Mrs. White was replaced by Dr. Orchid.
Oh.
And was represented by a pink token. Dr. Orchid was replaced by Chef White in 2023.
Yeah, people probably were like, that's too much. Dr. Orchid.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound good in my mouth. Dr.
Yeah.
Orchid. Dr. Orchid. I don't like it. Ew.
Yeah.
Chef White. That's nice. Chef
Yeah.
White.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you just guess like who did the murder, where they did it, and what weapon they used. Mm-hmm. And it's super fun.
It is
and
fun.
I love trying to figure out who did it.
And there's all different kinds of versions and stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I remember we had the Simpsons one.
Yep.
And it would be like, it's Marge Simpson in the Bolo-Rama.
Yep.
With a Krusty Burger or something.
I know.
So fun.
I wish I could see like I wish there was a list of
the candlestick
versions.
Thing. Oh, you could probably just go to Amazon, type in Clue. That's a good one though.
Yeah, but love Clue.
That's a good one. Cluedo.
Yeah. Okay. The ice cream truck.
I love that you thought it was Cluedo.
It looks like Cluedo. I'm looking at the pronunciation. That looks like Cluedo also.
It looks like Cluedo to me.
KLU ... DO this.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
Okay.
We don't know what that is. Here's what I do know, okay? I know that my number 3 is coming up.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Jumanji. That's right.
It's an excellent
picked
game.
A cursed game. Sucks you in, takes you to the jungle. You enter a child, you come back an adult.
It was very fun when we played this the first time.
It was very fun when we played it the first time.
Yeah.
I have some notes. I wish that the game almost like lasted a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I also think that some of the little puzzle, like when you... Okay. So, Jumanji is based off... It's a game that is based off of a movie that is centered around a game.
Yeah.
So, there's young Robin Williams. He's just a wee lad. And he comes from a rich shoemaking family. And one day, he and the pretty girl that he's always had a crush on, they play this game together. And it's called Jumanji. And he found it in a construction site buried. And he finds this game. And he starts playing it with this pretty girl. And wouldn't you know... they roll the dice, they pick their little tokens, and the center of the board has this green semi-sphere orb. And it, words come up on it and stuff like that when you roll the dice, depending on the cards you get or whatever. And it summons a bunch of bats, and then this young kid gets sucked into the game to become part of the jungle or whatever, and it's a really crazy moment, and that just kickstarts the whole movie where eventually so much later they the new family that moves into the house 50 years later or whatever it is, they find the game in the attic and they start playing the game. And eventually Robin Williams comes out of the game. He's been in the jungle this whole time, but now he's an adult, and he's got his wiles about him, and they have to finish the game. So it's all about jungles and animals and Africa and all this kind of stuff. And it summons animals. It's fucking crazy. It's a good movie, actually. It's really good.
It is a great movie.
But now there's also the board game. And I'm sure that the board game's been out for a while. There's no way they didn't make a board game right when that movie came out.
It's just
they were
high tech.
Obviously we would do this.
Now it makes no
now it's pretty high tech, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, you roll the dice. It's very nostalgic in many ways. You're playing the game that you've been watching from this old ass movie for so long. I know they have the new Jumanjis, and Tony keeps saying that they're pretty funny. Actually, I have not seen the new Jumanjis, and with
neither.
All due respect to those casts, because I like Jack Black a lot, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, even though I don't like almost a single movie that he's ever been in his life.
That's fair.
Except for Moana. I think he seems like a nice person.
He does.
And I want to hold on to that. So no disrespect, but yeah, I'm probably not going to watch those Jumanji movies anytime soon.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a fun game. It's very active. You get to go up and do a lot of silly little things. And then there's some weird activity cards. Do you remember the ones that are you only have a rope and 2 hyenas are coming towards you? What do you do?
Yeah, describe to everyone what you would do.
You just have to describe, and then it's I
think that's a little bit lame.
Oh, it is a little bit. I'm more into it because... Sorry, hold on. Do you have a reverse sneeze? You got an anti-sneeze going on? You licking your boogers? Sorry, guys. JoJo's licking her boogers. I'm confused. Okay.
JoJo, see who's here.
No, don't do that.
Go ahead.
She's gonna bark. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I'm into some like a little bit of improv and like having some fun with things and stuff, and it's also really funny sometimes. Like when we played with Mom the one time, like to see what Mom comes up with in those descriptions. Yeah, I'll just like go over to them and just like hug them.
Yeah,
I'll just hug them. I'll throw the rope away. I don't need it, and I'll just hug them. Yeah, and we'll become best friends. And it's like,
those are the money answers. Yeah, she's so funny.
But that's my number 3.
Very good.
Jumanji.
My number 3 is Seen It.
Oh, very cool. Seen It.
I love a DVD board game where a DVD is involved and you interact with the TV. I love it.
Very much, yeah.
I love Seen It. I love movie trivia. And there's also so many versions of Seen It. Looking at them now. Also, Seen It, the first one came out in 2002. And it looks like a bunch of different versions came out like every year up until 2008, and then they haven't made any more, which is like sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
But there's a bunch of different versions. There's Seen It Junior, Disney Seen It, and it's just like, from what I remember, you like put the DVD in and it plays like little clips from like movies and shows and stuff, and it asks you questions about. It's just like trivia about shows and movies and.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and then you move around the board, and I just love it. I love trivia.
No, yeah, same.
There's ESPN Seen It. There's Friends. There's 2 Harry Potter Seen It's. There's Seen It Music. This Seen It is called Seen It Squabble.
Oh.
Which I don't know what that is. There's Seen It FIFA.
Oh.
From 2006.
See, I would not be good at, like, it's hard when you do any type of game, with the exception of like Monopoly or like Clue, because you don't even need to know the show.
Yeah.
You're just enjoying the property, like the IP.
Yeah.
With a game like Seen It or like Trivial Pursuit or any of those like trivia games, you do need to know the topic. Otherwise, you're gonna be stranded. So as much as I love soccer, I love football.
Yeah.
One and the same. And I love international football the most, and like FIFA. I mean, FIFA the company, ugh.
Yeah.
But the sport, I love it. That game I would suck at because sure it would be like, who's that really good looking player on Portugal? And you'd be like, okay, Cristiano Ronaldo. I got that one. But then it would be like, who was the manager who left Sweden to go coach for the Netherlands? And I'd be like, I don't freaking know.
Yeah, plus it's in 2006. It's from 2006. I would be like,
oh, yeah. That's like 15 years ago almost. If not, well, yeah, like 13, 12 years ago.
There's a Nickelodeon Seen It, which I would be great at.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Tony would be way better than me. There's a Seinfeld Seen It from 2008. I would freaking destroy everybody at that game.
Would, yeah. It wouldn't even be fair.
No, it wouldn't. It would be.
But it would be funny to see you flex.
I would flex so hard.
It's like, I like seeing, like, watching clips of people who are really good at something.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the clip of that comedian who was like, he talks about how, like, he memorized the capitals of, like, every country.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I love seeing that guy flex. Really, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's a funny comedian. I like him a lot. I wish I knew his name. I
one of the first ones he gets asked about in the clip that I saw was Qatar, and he's like, easy, and then whatever he says. And then he says, by the way, the correct pronunciation is whatever. Qatar.
It's like Qatar or something.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
He does all the Canadian provinces.
Yeah. So crazy.
He's really funny.
There's Marvel Seen It. There's 007 Seen It.
Interesting.
Which I think is interesting. There's also Seen It game packs, which I think is funny. Like, it almost to me feels like downloadable content. There's Warner Brothers Seen It. There's Turner Classic Movies Seen It.
Oh, Dad, that's for you, baby.
I know. There's HBO Seen It. And there's Seen It The OC, which I did watch. I probably wouldn't know much about it now, but
I think I watched like the first season of The OC.
We watched it.
That's with Seth Cohen, right?
It sure is. Cohen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ryan.
Misha Barton.
And that excellent scene, and Misha Barton, and that excellent scene where Ryan, who's like the bad boy from Chino, who like is like gets arrested and is like the tough guy, and he's like defending Misha Barton or something, and he goes up to this guy and he's like, you know what I like about rich kids? And the guy goes, what? And then Ryan punches him right in the nose and goes, nothing. And then like runs away. It's like so good.
That's actually sick.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
It is really good. I remember like 15-year-old me was like, fuck yes.
Fuck yes. God, hell yeah.
But yeah, seen it. That's my number 3.
That's awesome. That's a good pick. Wow. Really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My number 2 favorite board game is an oldie but a goodie.
Mm-hmm.
It's chess.
Wow.
Did I blow your mind?
Blew my mind.
Raven.
Oh my god.
Chess is... I just took my glasses off for dramatic effect. I thought it would be really funny. And it was.
Wow.
It's very old.
It is very old.
We're thinking 15th century.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking that there were predecessors to chess that maybe led to the invention of chess 900 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
It is so interesting to me. I love it. I love it. I went through a phase
Okay.
when I still lived at Dad's house.
Mm-hmm. Where you play chess? On your
Man,
phone?
I played a lot of chess on my phone. And I played a lot of chess in general. And I watched chess videos on, like, different openings, different mid-games, how to end the game, like, different things like that. I used to play with Keith all the time, but Keith was no competition. That poor kid. I was crushing him. I think he beat me once out of, like, 50 games. It got to the point where I would have to, like... When I gave my phone to Keith, he could take as much time as he wanted to figure out his move. But when he gave the phone back to me, I had 10 seconds to, like, make a move.
Okay.
So it was like I wasn't allowed to, like, sit there and contemplate and, like, plan all this stuff. Which is a little harder when you're playing on the phone, only because, like, you're not seeing the board.
Right.
The other person's holding the phone, so you can't see the board. So sometimes they hand it back to you, and you're like, "Wait, where did you move?" But it's just a lot of fun. I just think it's, like, very intellectual. It obviously has that kind of, like, connotation of being like a smart game.
I like the video that the Try Guys uploaded where all 4 of them play that chess master and he's blindfolded.
Yep. Yeah, I've watched.
That's also watching someone flex, and I love it.
I watched a lot of documentaries on Magnus Carlsen, who I think is still technically ranked the world champion.
Yeah.
He's like a grandmaster, and there's like interesting ranking titles for everything. It's like you're a grandmaster if you're like ranked a certain height, or you're a master if you're this level, and there's numbers and tournaments, and there's like it's a whole league or whatever you want to call it. It's insane.
A hierarchy. I will say, I don't like watching, like, chess masters play when I've seen a couple TikToks where, like, they play and they have the little timer thing that they hit, and it's so fast that it's like move, click, move, click, move, click, move, click. And I want to just be like, slow down. Take a breath. Why are we going so fast?
Well, it's speed chess.
I know. I don't like to watch it. It's too fast. It's like no one's thinking. We're just like...
but they are thinking.
I don't like it. Yeah. I know, but I don't like it.
All right.
That's just for me.
Okay. Well, I do like it, and it's good. The only thing I don't like is I'm not a big fan of watching the, like, chess hustlers in the street, or, like, in New York or something like that. And it's no disrespect to them. I am not a fan of trash talk like that. It makes me cringy.
It makes you cringe?
It makes me cringy.
I don't like trash talk ever.
That's what I mean. I kind of don't like it.
Yeah.
There are times, like, other sports, I think maybe sports that are... Maybe this is, like, a toxic masculinity trait. I think sports where it's a little bit more physical, my needle goes further towards tolerance for trash talk.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alyssa loves hockey, and she tells me stories all the time of, like, so this guy, like, they got put in their boxes, right? Because guy one, like, went to go throw a punch, and then guy 2 just took his hockey stick and threw it and ran away, and they had this fight, and they fist fought, and then they got put in their little boxes. And she's like, and it was great. And I think about it, and I'm like, if I, like, was friends with one of those people or dating one of those people, I would be embarrassed. Like,
they got in a fight with an adult.
You're a professional athlete trying to win a game, and you're, like, stopping whatever's happening in the game to, like, punch a guy.
Yeah.
Like, calm down.
It's a little icky.
It's icky. That's how I feel.
I know what you mean. Yeah, because it's, I mean, when you're, it's hard because you never really got into sports, so you don't have the same, like, sort of competitiveness that sort of can sometimes boil over into, like, rage.
Yeah, I can see it happening when I'm watching, like, remember in the World Cup when
that's what I was
Argentina
bring
played
up.
the Netherlands?
That game was rough.
The one Argentine player, like, I think on accident, I don't know if it would be on purpose or why, kicked the ball into the bench of the Netherlands players, and they all, like, hopped on top of him, like, the Netherlands players charged.
It was a lot of shoving and stuff like that. No one was throwing punches at that point, but yeah, it was a lot of,
like, I just watched it and was like,
crazy.
like,
yeah,
how I felt.
Tone it down a little bit. Yeah.
But I know it's a lot of men.
That's what I mean, is
fighting,
toxic masculinity kind of a thing.
I get it. It's just,
it's hard.
Ugh.
Yeah, because I will obviously be the first to admit I get quite competitive when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, I'm very not
I
competitive.
can have that moment.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. A moment came up. I was rewatching the footage of the Hessy Maven Gaming episode 1, where I play Fortnite, available on YouTube now. And I was rewatching it when I was editing it, obviously. And, like, there's a moment where I was like, I'm, like, talking about the story, and I'm like, yeah, so then Rachel's brother Steven tried to call the pirates, and they're talking to, oh, wait, hold on. There's a guy over here. And then I, like, jump up onto the whatever platform he's on, and I shoot him in the head. And I was like, without thinking about it, like, knee-jerk reaction, just go, all day, baby, all day.
Oh, my God.
And then I caught myself, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Something takes my body over in these, like, visceral moments.
Yeah.
And I just bro out, and I was, like, embarrassed.
Yeah.
I was like, this is embarrassing.
I get it.
I mentioned it on the video.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, this is embarrassing
That's
to
funny.
notice this about yourself. Like, gosh, what's going to happen the next video game I play? Well, it depends on the game. I think I might do GoldenEye next.
Yeah.
For the N64, and do that, and then tell my story about somebody who's pretending to be a secret agent.
Oh, nice.
He's a con man.
Yeah.
So I thought those go together.
They do.
But man, if I play like FIFA or something, I'm gonna be like hooping and hollering every time I score a goal with Abby Morgan. Abby Morgan. Is that her name?
What's happening?
I just combined the names of 2 different women's soccer players, and I feel awful about it. I said Abby Morgan because there's Alex Morgan, and then there's Abby Wambach, who's retired now, but God,
like her.
what an idiot, Justin.
That was funny.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, Alex Morgan and
So-
Abby Wambach.
My number 2
Oh, yes, please. Let's continue.
was categories. But I feel like we talked a lot about categories.
We did.
Okay, so
In the
I'm not going to
interim,
talk more about it.
You found a different one?
No, I'm not going to talk more about it. I'm going to jump right to my number 1.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to get rid of
Reckless.
number 2.
Be rid of it.
We talked about categories. We love categories.
We love it.
I'm going to go right to my number 1.
Okay.
Okay?
Bring it on.
This is my favorite board game. I haven't played it in a hot minute. I really need to buy it the next time I'm at Target so that we can play.
I'm curious what you're going to say.
Because it's so fun. And I've seen people play a version of this on TikTok that's a little bit different than how you normally play. And that looks super fun and I'd like to try. Guess who?
Oh.
I
Wow.
love Guess Who.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. Learning this for the first time.
I love it.
We've never played Guess Who.
I know. I haven't. Oh, I don't think I've ever owned it. I've only played it at other people's homes. but I love it. I think it's so fun. You just have this board in front of you that has like a million faces, and then like the other person has to, it's like you're trying to get the other person to not guess your person, or like guess the wrong person. It's kind of like Battleship, but with guessing faces, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. I can see that analogy. But I now know what you mean when you're really talking about like how TikTok plays it differently.
I've seen people on TikTok do it where they have the thing and they're like, would your person ever get a mullet haircut?
Yeah. Where was your person on January 6th?
Yeah.
And you're like, sorry, Todd.
Yeah.
Click.
And then they guess that way, which
Bryce.
I think is
Sorry,
hilarious.
dude. Yeah.
Because that is you're guessing based on vibes, not necessarily on looks. Which
Sometimes
is
based on stereotypes, but yeah.
Which is so funny and seems so fun, and I really want to get this game again to play it because it's just a great time.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I love Guess Who.
Wow. Amazing.
I know. It says the Guess Who game goes back to the tabletop style boards, styled after the original, rather than handheld boards. Each player chooses a mystery character, and then using yes or no questions, they try to figure out the other player's mystery character. When they think they know who their opponent's mystery character is, players make a guess. If the guess is wrong, the player loses the game.
Wow.
Lose forever.
Wow.
But I love it. It's so fun. It's only $11.99.
Wow. You gotta get it.
I know.
That's amazing.
Yep. Guess Who fans, I'm with you.
Yeah. Dope.
Thank you.
I love that for you. So your number 2 was categories.
Yes.
Your number 1 is Guess Who.
Yes.
Understood. Okay, cool. Well, my number 1 is, drum roll please, Clue. Or as it's sometimes called in the UK, Cluedo. Yeah, fucking. Did you see it on my face? I was like,
were you able to find a list of different Clue versions?
No, I wasn't looking for that.
You should look. Clue is an excellent game. When you put your mind together,
I know
to
that
try
Critical
to figure
Role
out,
has one.
to try to figure out who the murderer is.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason that I so badly resist every month doing the Hunt a Killer subscription box.
Oh, those are so fun. I'm so good at those.
Because I love to find out who the killer is.
Well, we have one downstairs that we need to do.
I thought we did it.
No, we have that one that Kate got me for Christmas or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have to do that one.
Yeah.
So, different versions of Clue include Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Big Bang Theory. What the fuck? Like, you're like,
people love
Sheldon's dead.
Yeah.
Who killed Sheldon since he's annoying? Harry Potter, Supernatural.
Oh.
The Office, Clue Luxury Edition.
Oh.
Very interesting. It looks very fancy. Clue Secrets and Spies. Classic. Firefly. The Legend of Zelda. Clue Junior. Cluedo board game. Dungeons and Dragons. Clue. Hilarious. Yeah. All different kinds.
I love it.
Pretty much any IP.
Also Simpsons.
We'll have it, yeah. But I do want to give, because in that time I was like, well, Raven randomly gets to choose when she skips numbers or not. So
I did.
I also looked up another game that I want to shed light on.
Okay.
Raven, you've played this game before.
Okay.
It is found on tables all over this country. Some say that it goes as far back as the court of Louis XIV.
Oh.
It's found in paintings around that time period. The first reference in print to this game with directions on how to play were in August of 1687.
Is it checkers?
No, it is not checkers because the board is shaped like a triangle. It has
Is it the thing from
15
Cracker Barrel?
holes.
Oh my god, it's the thing from Cracker Barrel.
The original Cracker Barrel peg game was handcrafted by, and you're going to love this name, Ollie Quails.
It's a great
Back
name.
in 1969 when the first Cracker Barrel opened. Ollie and his son Adrian drilled each hole, ink stamped each block, and counted every peg by hand. Even today, Quails and Sons Inc. still drill, stamp, and back the peg games by hand.
Oh my god. It's just called the peg game?
I don't think, there's not really a name for it. It's literally,
it's
I'm
so
on
fun
I'm on Cracker Barrel's website.
If you've
and
ever
it's
been to
called the
Cracker
Peg
Barrel,
Game.
it's a little thing they put on the table, and it's like all the pegs are in all the holes except for one, and then you just have to take a peg and jump over the peg next to it, and then the one you jumped over, you remove that peg.
It's like checkers in that way.
Yeah.
So you have to go from one open hole to another open hole.
Yeah.
And in the process, you have to jump over pegs.
Mm-hmm.
And when you jump over a peg, that peg gets removed. And the goal is to end up with just one. Because if you can get genius status, that's a lot of fun. Because the last thing you want to do is be an ignoramus.
Yeah, which is what happens, I think, if you have four
or more
left,
and you're an ignoramus.
which is always what I am. I'm terrible at the peg game.
Yeah, I've learned a lot of, like, methods to winning the peg game.
I'm really not at it.
Fun fact, did you know that there's actually over 6,000 ways to win the game? But after 2 wrong moves, it's virtually impossible to win.
Wow. So you have to do every move right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, it says 2 wrong moves, so if you do one, you know, whatever. But, they give you strategies.
It's crazy.
On how to win. Like, literally, helpful hints. Don't jump into a corner. They have all this stuff on here. It's so funny. It's going to take a little bit of muscle memory to learn the sequence.
Oh
But
my
with
God.
a little repetition, you'll be able to get to one peg in no time really fast.
It is a cute way to pass the time while you're waiting for your food.
So much, it's amazing.
Cute.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good little pastime. I don't even know if it really qualifies as a board game. I was just trying to think on the spot since we both did Clue, we both did categories, we both did Taboo.
I know.
This is the most overlaps we've ever had.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's the deal, gang. That's pretty much the end of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, a couple of things. We have an email address, hessyandmaven@gmail.com. If you're interested in working with us in any way, you guys want to figure out maybe like a promo situation, we could talk about it. Send us an email. And then also, we got that YouTube, and big things are popping off on the YouTube. I could not recommend heading over there enough. We got Hessy and Maven Gaming that has started as of yesterday, and that's going to keep going as much as I can do it. And we're doing YouTube Shorts. We're over on TikTok. We're over on Instagram. We're doing all the things. Just give a goog, Hessy and Maven. Boop. You know what I mean? So check out all those things. Thank you so much. But also, let us know, what is your favorite board game?
Yes.
What do you think about the board games that we picked? I do have a question for you so fast, though. You have to pick a Clue character. Who are you going to be?
Miss Scarlet.
Great pick.
She's Lisa in
Great pick.
the
Loki, I always picked Miss Scarlet also, or Miss Peacock, I can't remember, but somewhere on the board there used to be this little cheat on the Clue board. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about? Where only Miss Scarlet or Miss Peacock or both, I
think
can't
it's
remember.
Miss Peacock. I saw a little blip of it in the Wikipedia.
It's the only piece that you can, in just your first move, you can immediately get inside of a room and start making guesses. Because you can't make a guess if you're not inside the room.
Yeah.
And the guess you make has to be that room.
Yeah.
So I used to do all kinds of little tricks. I used to do the thing, so you have a bunch of cards, and those are obviously not them because they're not in the envelope. So you'll have a card that will say, like, Miss White. And I would ask, is it Miss White? And then people are like, no one has Miss White. So then people are like, oh shit, maybe it's Miss White. And now I'm fucking with everybody's heads.
Yeah.
And if I have Miss White and I have the study, but I don't have the weapon, and I don't know what the weapon is, I'll ask, like, is it Miss White with the candlestick in the study? Because if no one has any cards, then I know that it's the candlestick. Because I have the other 2 cards. So it's all these mind games. Man, I used to cheat, too, sometimes. I used to, like, look off of people, like, in Dad's house, the reflection of the sliding glass door. You always had to be careful.
So funny.
All right, gang. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Hessy and Maven. Please tune in next time where we talk about something else.
Bye.